I'm Admiredplague, and welcome to the no filler Easter egg run. So right off the bat here on Shattered Veil, what you're going to do is just follow the prompts to get through the mansion. It's pretty easy for at least getting to the power where Sam is currently at. You're going to want to go get the one device off the guard that's up there on top of the balcony, and then you're going to go into the master bedroom here and go get the circuit board. Once you have both those items, you're going to go to the elevator over here, which is clearly marked. Go behind the elevator. There's going to be a spot to put the circuit board. You're going to put the circuit board in there. You're going to take a couple of seconds, make sure there's no zombies on you, and then go and hit the button. When you hit the button, you're going to end up in a firefight with a bunch of zombies. You hit the button again after you kill all the zombies, and you're going to go down into the underground lab, aka I call it the Hive. Thank you, Resident Evil. Once you're down in the Hive, the actual Easter egg will start, and you no longer will end up with any more tips and tricks on how to get places. At wave 10, you're going to find a lab technician. The lab technician is going to drop a floppy disk. This floppy disk is going to be used for a puzzle to release my friend Jim Bub. You're going to take that floppy disk down to the main foyer area. Off to the right-hand side, there's going to be a room with a computer in it. You're going to put the floppy disk inside the computer, and then you're going to wait for the printer to print off some instructions. Once you kill the vermin, you're going to click on the fax machine there, and you're going to find out that there is a secret word all in caps. You're going to find the words Yeti, worm, moth, things like that. That code word is how you find out what the key combination is for Jim Bob's cell. And then in order to do that, you're going to go up into the girls' room where there's a alphabet board. You're going to just find those letters in those grouping combinations and then put that combination into Jim Bob's lair. Once Jim Bob's out of his cage, you're going to shoot Jim Bob here, and he's going to drop his severed arm. This arm is how you get the free ray gun. Hey, we now have Jim Bob's arm. Congratulations. Alright, once you have Jim Bob's arm, we're going to go deeper into the underground tunnels. You're going to find this Janus door here. You're going to open it up. You're going to go inside, and you're going to use that arm to get your first ray gun. This is the first part of multiple things to do, so let's get into it. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is you're going to want to find 3 different empty canisters. So what you're going to need to do is go get yourself some Molotovs, go down to this little tube and figure out if it's A or B. Once you find out if it's A or B, you're going to go over to where Jim Bob's cell was. You're going to find this thing on the wall, and you're going to use throwing axes to basically make yourself a path to that right letter. It does change. You will get A or you will get B. You will then take an explosive of any kind, blow up the glass. The glass will give you your first empty canister. Go deeper into the lab. You're going to find this dead guy in a bunch of rubble. He has a Gersh grenade. The Gersh grenade is used for the second canister, which is just below double tap. You're going to throw the Gersh grenade at the window. It will then suck up the canister, and you will now have it on the ground. The third canister, you're going to use the ray gun to shoot these giant crystals that are throughout the map. There's a couple of them. There's one out by the garden. There's a couple out inside the mansion themselves. One of them will have it. Now, the next part is to actually use those canisters to charge up your ray gun. So the first thing we're going to do is charge up the yellow one. In order to do that, you're going to find these weird mushrooms throughout the level. You want to use the base ray gun to shoot them, and they will drop a seed. Those seedlings go in these incubators over here in the observatory area. What you're going to do is put a seed in, defend it from harm. You want to make sure that no zombies get to you, because they will try and kill it. Once all 4 seeds are put into the incubators, they will grow, as you can see, like into like a giant mushroom. And when all 4 are done, they will get sucked up into the incubators and then used to charge your first canister. That canister will then be used all the way at a workbench at the start of the level. So notice how this one is yellow. When you take it over to the workbench, you're going to notice it's the right one because there's yellow objects on it. This is how you determine which charged vial goes where. Once you have this in, you're able to then put it on your ray gun and upgrade your ray gun. The yellow one does have an acid pool that it drops. It's pretty cool. The second canister is going to go over here, over at what I call Stonehenge. Once you put the canister in, 3 of these abominations will, or 2 of these abominations will spawn in. What you want them to do is actually laser beam 3 small rocks around the area, and then once you have all 3 small rocks charged, you want them to charge into the rocks, and they will start to float. Once all 3 rocks are charged and floating, you will then have to defend the center while the 3 rocks are charging up the canister. A bunch of parasites will come out. You got to kill them. I like to throw grenades and stuff, or any sort of like traps or mines down on the center here, but you have to be doing this for about, I don't know, 2 minutes or so. Once it's done, you'll have another charged canister. This charged canister goes all the way back to where you actually got the ray gun. Right across from that Janus door is going to be the next workstation. As you can tell, there's a blue kerosene can here that lets you know that that's for the blue one. You can just take the portal from Stonehenge back over. The third one is going to be in this little tunnel here. This breaching charge is actually going to be from a wooden box. Any wooden box that has salvage, you can find the breaching charge. I didn't show it because it's kind of random. There's also these 2 plates that you have to put on, these 2 mirrors. You find them in the different water fountain things. The first one's by the quick revive. There's a water fountain there, and the next one's on the west balcony. Once you have the 2 mirrors, put the mirrors down, and then you want to put the vial in, the canister rather. Once the canister's in, a beam of light will come out and start going through the mirrors. Now, there are 3 spots to put mirrors. One is up here. The nice thing about the mirrors is you only need to get 2 of them, and then you're able to pull them off, and then by meleeing them, you can alter the beam. So just go through the 3 different... basically what you want the beam to do is hit the doppelgas statues. Once you have the statues all done, you will eventually get the ability to charge up the canister, because every doppelgas you kill, its soul goes into this big snake. And then you have your 3rd charged canister. This canister is actually put in the master bedroom, and this is more of a shotgun type ray gun, and the blue one is like an SMG. Once you have all 3 charged, now you have to go do the painting puzzles. So with the yellow ray gun, you're going to want to go into the study, where you have to go kill a bunch of zombies. It's a soul box challenge, essentially, but you have to kill zombies with the related ray gun. Once you are inside the study, you want to go into Aether Shroud, and there's going to be 6 locations where there are these blue glowing objects. You want to find 3 of them, but there are 6 locations that you can find them in. You find them by the elevator, you find them up on the left hand side of double tap, you're going to find them in a fireplace down a hall, or on the couch directly in front of the portrait. Once you find the 3, you have to do this weird puzzle outside. There's 3 glowing books, you have to hit them in a specific order. You can brute force it, you will find these files. That is your ritual item to put onto the tablet here. And then you go into a boss fight. The boss fights that you're going to be encountering will have these shields. The shields relate to the ray gun specialty. So in this case, you're doing the yellow portrait. You need the yellow ray gun. Therefore, the yellow ray gun is needed to kill the boss's shield. Once the boss's shield is down, any damage will do. So we're going to be doing this 2 other times as well. And now we have a dead boss, and then the boss is going to charge the relic that we actually received from the tomb map. Alright, so for the second portrait, you're going to want to get a sconce here. This sconce is found in a box just to the outside of the elevator. That sconce goes down in the foyer to the left of the giant T-Rex. And then you end up doing this wonderful Simon Says thing. This is always different. It changes every time. But you want to follow the blinking lights and just interact with the sconces as they blink. So here it's right, left, right. When you're done with that, the door will open. Once the door is open, there's going to be a portrait down here. This portrait is the blue ray gun portrait, so you want to make sure that your ray gun is set to blue. And by set, I mean you have to go to the workbench and go re-enable it. Once you get the portrait open, you have to come up stop to the study here. And inside, next to the weapon on the wall, you will find a bell, like a service bell. You're gonna have to shoot some glass to get it. But once you get the service bell, you put the bell on the bar in the main foyer area. You want to have brain rot on a zombie, and then the zombie will go behind the bar when you hit the bell and make you a flask of special liquids. That's your ritual item now for this area. So go back down to the blue portrait and kill the boss. Once again, you need to use the blue ray gun to get rid of his shield. Once the shield's gone, you're able to do damage, and then that will continue, or that will complete that portion of the charged relic. So pick up the relic there, and now we have one final portrait to go. This portrait is for the purple ray gun, so go back to the master bedroom, make sure that you have the purple ray gun, and now continue to do the soul box challenge. Just kill things with the ray gun. Eventually the door will open up for you. And from here, you want to go inside the portrait, grab this red bottle off of the table. This is for the 3 black chalices around the map. You have to go fill them up and then go kill the disciple that comes out with them. So the first black chalice is just outside the portrait area here in the wine cellar area. You want to click the chalice, and then a disciple will spawn. Destroy it. Pretty simple with even a pack-a-punch 1 weapon. The second chalice is in the main foyer on the upper balcony on this bench right across from the dinosaur. Like that, the disciple will spawn always down here in front of the dinosaur. Take this out, and then the last one is going to be back at the very beginning of the map. So to the right of this little bridge on this little bench here is the last chalice, and the disciple will spawn on top of the bridge behind you. Once you kill all 3, what this does is actually shows the hidden numbers that are behind the elevator. So you want to go back to the elevator, back to the portrait, and now where there was 3 painting things, there are now 3 numbers. You take those numbers up to the left of the master bedroom, put those numbers into this blue safe here, and you will get the 3rd and final ritual item, which will then take you into the purple portrait for the final boss fight. And there's your ritual item. Pick it up, go back to the purple portrait.
Let me guess. Magic wand.
And set it on the table there. And then once again, start your 3rd and final boss fight for in the map. Kill him using your purple ray gun, and then you are all set for the final boss of the main story Easter egg. I recommend that you get every perk, Pack-a-Punch 3, legendary weapons, because this final fight is a doozy. It's probably one of the hardest fights that they have so far in Black Ops 6. I will not show any of the Easter egg here at this point because I don't want to ruin it for you. I know it's been out for a while, but I would rather not show you guys what really cool cutscene / Easter egg boss fight there is. Just know that it's very difficult and you will want a chopper gunner. That's it for me. Thank you for watching this no filler Easter egg guide. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more like this, let me know by hitting that like and subscribe button. I'm Admiredplague, and I will see you all in the next video.